Welcome to our second lesson on multiplying integers. You may have noticed as you look at this sheet that there are multiple integers, meaning more than 2. Today we're going to practice using our Murphy-Dillon face and our Margar faces once more, and then after this lesson we're going to move to the calculator. The directions say simplify. And because these are all numeric, meaning all numbers, we could also use the word evaluate. We're going to see this word simplify a lot in our next chapter when we start using variables. You will not be asked to complete all of the problems on this sheet, but of the ones we do, I want you to take it one step at a time so we can practice using Murphy-Dillon and the Margar faces. So let's get started. We're going to start by circling the first two numbers we see, and I'm going to use a face in this. I'm going to use Margar faces throughout. I see that I have a positive 2 and a positive 3. So when Margar is wide awake, she's happy. So my answer is going to be positive 6. And so that I don't lose any of my other numbers, I'm going to go ahead and drop them down. And then we're going to start again. I'm going to circle the very first two I see, and this time I see a positive 6 and a negative 5. So that means when Margar's half awake, she's mad. So our answer is negative, and 6 times 5 is 30. I'm going to drop down the number that we didn't use, which is negative 6. Finally, our last step, we have two numbers. The Margar face for this is a negative and a negative. Negative 30, negative 6. And by the way, I just noticed I doubled that up. So when Margar is fully asleep, she's happy. So we're going to have a positive answer, and 30 times 6 is 180. So our answer is positive 180. So I did this entire problem because I want you to know how we're going to proceed. Let's move on to problem number 4. All right, this time on problem number 4, let's try using Murphy-Dillon. We're still going to do this step by step. So we're going to circle the first two integers. Murphy-Dillon head looks like this. So when we use Murphy-Dillon, we cross off the signs that are used in the expression. So that means we're going to have a positive answer. Then 6 times 4 is positive 24. And we're going to drop down all of the other numbers that we didn't use. And then we start again. So this time, we're going to take 24 times negative 9. So we're going to draw another Murphy-Dillon head. What is the sign of the product, which means the answer, of positive 24 times negative 9? The answer is negative 216. And it's negative because we cross off the positive and a negative sign, and the leftover sign is a negative. Now we drop down what we didn't use. And please tell me what negative 216 times positive 1 is. The answer is negative 216. Now let's move on to problem number 5. For problem number 5, I'm going to ask you to identify the product as we move step by step for each of the two integers. You can choose to write a Murphy-Dillon head, or you can choose to write the Margar faces. So here we go. We're going to start with these two integers. Please tell me what the product of 5 times negative 3 is. The answer is negative 15, and we drop down the other factors, meaning numbers that we did not use. This time, please tell me what the product of negative 15 times positive 4 is. The product is negative 60. And now we're going to drop down this last factor of negative 2 Factors, again, are numbers that we multiply. And finally, please tell me what the product of negative 60 times negative 2 is. And the product, the final product, is positive 120. You do not necessarily have to write the positive sign when we're working with the final product or any product, but since we're trying to identify, I'd like you to implicitly tell me or show me the signs. Our last problem that we'll complete together today is problem number 7. Once again, using your choice of Murphy-Dillon or the Margar faces, we're going to start step by step. And I'd like you to tell me what the product of negative 4 times negative 5 is. That product or answer is positive 20. And we're going to drop down the other two factors, 3 times 8. Will this answer be positive or negative? We are multiplying two positive numbers, therefore the product or the answer is positive. So it is positive 60, and we're going to drop down the final factor of 8. And finally, I'd like you to find the final answer. The final answer is positive 480. In math, it's important to be able to use step-by-step procedures and to be able to employ strategies that can help us along the way. In future lessons, we're going to be working with negative and positive fractions and negative and positive decimals. We will also be working in our upcoming lessons with the order of operations, which is a very specific guide about what steps we take and when we take them. So thank you for listening. Would you please finish up the follow-up question? Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your afternoon or evening.